Hi guys, welcome back to Sports with Mono and Mono. It's Jim Monahan, and I'm here with Elijah Weintraub. And thanks for joining us. It's Saturday, September 27th. Eli, almost October, and you're wrapping up your first month at college. So, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, and I can't believe that it's already October. And within the next week, we will have everything for Christmas up in the stores. I know where I'm working now. I saw the first Christmas thing yesterday, and I just said to myself, "Are you kidding me?" So uh, this is just the beginning of the holiday season. Wrap beginning and underway.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But a beautiful fall weather on the East Coast right now. It's nice.
Oh yes,
All right, Eli. So let's jump right into this week's show. We got a ton of stuff to talk about, and
we do.
it always gets started with the monologue sponsored by Coriano Trucking of Summerhill, New York. And I think I'm up this week. So,
Yes, you are.
as you know, Eli, I brought up this sports gambling thing over and over again. You know my feelings, the audience knows my feelings on it. But there's just something that's absolutely driving me crazy. It's the marketing of this. It's constant. Every single time you turn around, whether you're watching ESPN Sports Center, right? We used to watch that to get highlights and get some decent insight, but now every single thing revolves around the over and under and the point spreads and this, that, and the other thing, and it's becoming way too much for me. I mean, I actually was watching. I think it was a Yankee game that was on ESPN a couple weeks ago, and literally during the game, as Aaron Judge comes up, they go, "You could place a prop bet right now about whether Aaron Judge is going to hit a home run or not." Like, why is that relevant? It's taking away from the game itself, and it's driving me crazy. And I can't stand this Kevin Hart. I don't find these things to be amusing. You know, it's kind of like they are really sucking people in. And when you see these little clips, it says bet $5 and get $300 in bets for free. If you read the fine print at the bottom of that, it's impossible for you to win. And I don't understand why. It's like Philip Morris going to a first grade school and giving each kid a pack of cigarettes to try to get them addicted to smoking. And it really is becoming over and over and way, way too much. I can't stand it. And I would love for people to chime in on this. And Eli, give me your thoughts on this, please.
Well, I'm happy to give my thoughts. Well, number one, look at the numbers of viewership watching games every week. If you look at where sports betting was a few years ago, wasn't as popular. It wasn't like the king of the world where everybody was doing it. And if you looked at the TV ratings, they weren't as high as they once were. But now that sports betting has come into a play, yeah, more people watching games. For example, the viewership for every Sunday night game, NFL Monday night game, has gone up dramatically compared to a few years ago. And I think a big impact
Yeah.
to it is the sports betting because now people are betting to try to find out can they win money, which half the time most people do and a lot of people don't, but there's a decent amount that do win.
Most don't.
Most don't, but there's some people do win. But there is an engagement now to say, you know what? I bet it on, let's just say the Jets, for example. Now I want to watch that game. I want to tune in to find out was my bet correct? Was my pick correct? Was it me worth watching? Did this player get tackled? This and that. And it's such a popular thing. And it's not fun because obviously you lose money and you do stuff. But I know, like, for a lot of people, they're telling me, it's fun to now watch the football games because now we're watching and rooting for this one specific player to do this one tackle or one touchdown, one thing, and they're getting more engaged to it versus without sports betting. And it's a crazy thing to think about. I know, like, the other day I was talking to somebody. They bet on the Lions, and they said they needed certain players, like Laporta, to get a touchdown and for some other guy to get a sack. Uh, and they were disappointed, and they were watching closely every little detail to see if that parlay went through. And it goes to show you how much of an impact it has made in the future.
I could I just can't understand though why it's become so prevalent that you can't get away from it instead of just watching the highlights or watching the game and determining who's going to win and who's not going to win. Now it comes down, you could bet on whether a guy's going to have 2 catches or 3 catches. I
But that's
honestly, a
the
lot of
joy
our
of it, though, for
viewers
these people. And I don't get me wrong,
are,
I don't bet.
well, I don't bet either.
I
I
don't
don't
bet either.
either.
But I
But
just
I
know
don't
that
need
there's joy
point
in these
spreads
people when
and
they do
over
it.
and unders.
Yeah.
Right, but I just want to watch the Yankee game and see if Aaron Judge is going to hit a home run. I don't need somebody to tell me that it's minus 200 if Aaron Judge is going to hit a home run. And I know a lot of people, a lot of our listeners are on FanDuel and sports, DraftKings and whatever, Bet Rivers, all these crazy things. It's just nonstop. And I wish, and you know what? It's not going to slow down, even though I wish it would, but it's not. So
Well, we do have
give
a
us
couple
your
comments
thoughts. If you
that
guys say, Jim,
we got a couple comments that go hand in hand to this conversation. Tom Pugh says, "I totally agree with you. Online gaming is poison and not needed. It's going to hurt many, the bettors and some of the players who are being betted upon." And you're right. And I think a big impact towards that is
that's
for the
exactly
college
right,
perspective.
Tom.
And I think you're right about
Yep.
that in the sense of
I
college sports.
couldn't agree more with that comment. That's exactly, if I had to sum it up perfectly, Tom Pugh's words right there would sum up my view of the sports gambling thing.
But at the
Absolutely.
same time, it
Thank you,
hurts the
Tom,
players.
by the way.
I want to say with Tom's comment though, you can go ahead and you can make that assumption definitely with the college aspect because it could hurt the player. Because in the college world, it's a big thing, but in the NFL, it's just another normal thing. I guess you could say it's been there for so long. It's nothing new. It's normal, I guess you could say, in the NFL. But from the college perspective, yes, I could see how it could hurt a player in a way. Brandon says gambling and fantasy go hand in hand, and yes, and
Well,
you're absolutely right. In that comment in your perspective. And I think gambling and fantasy go hand in hand because fantasy football, I do fantasy football. I know a lot of people do fantasy football. I don't know about you, Jim, if you do fantasy or not. But if you do fantasy football, you kind of want to root for your guy on your team to go far. And it's kind of the same thing in reality. Let's go hand in hand. And you got a great point there, Brendan. And he also had the leagues promoted.
but
And it's basic psychology.
and Brendan, I know, and I know you guys, maybe it's just a generational thing. Maybe it's because you guys are younger and it's more intriguing and that kind of thing. And I'm not telling you don't gamble, but I don't know a lot of people that win a lot of money betting on these prop bets. And the fact that you're going to be able to do it in your seat in a football stadium, it just, to me, it takes away a little bit of the
Now, out of
integrity
curiosity,
that's
do you have fantasy football or do fantasy football, Jim?
I don't know. I did when I was younger.
Right. Like I know I do fantasy football now.
That's different.
Right. And I do fantasy football now, but I don't bet or anything to it. But I know a lot of people that do fantasy football and do bet. And they say, well, and like Brandon says, it goes hand in hand. It's like, okay, well, if I want this one player to do good, let's just say it's Jaden Daniels, for example, then I know that that's the person I'm trying to root for. And I agree with that comment 1000%. 2 more comments coming in. I appreciate everybody commenting. Palav's dog, ring the bell. Dog, Slavy.
Brendan, I love your wisdom and your comments, my friend. Thank you very much. And I respect all of our loyal listeners' right to do it. I just think it doesn't have a place during the game and on ESPN. Just give me the news, give me the highlights, give me the scores, and let's move on. We're good with this.
And the last comment we have is William. He says, "Good morning,
all right,
fellas,
Eli.
good
So
morning.
let's
Thanks
take
for
it to the
tuning in."
next level here. Yes. Thank you, William. Appreciate your insight too. All right, Eli. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
We do.
So
let's go to the NFL, I think.
Where do you want to go first? We got
Let's
football,
start off
we
with
got
the NFL.
college football. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Let's start the NFL. And I think everybody
Okay.
wants to hear
Fair
about
enough.
one important person right now, Jackson Dart, who has been named the starter for the New York Giants, as Brian Daboll has decided to bench Russell Wilson. So now the question is, there are 3 questions that pop up. Is Brian Dable's job on the line after this game if they don't get a win? How will Jackson Dart do? And is Russell Wilson a Hall of Famer? Those are the three questions being asked at this time heading into tomorrow's game versus the Chargers for the New York Giants.
Yeah, well, no question that's and it's kind of funny because we're talking about the quarterback position for the New York Giants, and yeah, this is the beginning of the Jackson Dart era. Will he be a Zach Wilson or will he be a Jaden Daniels? That of course remains to be seen. But the question is, to answer your question, yes, Brian Dable's job is on the line. And I know when we brought Russell Wilson in, and I was always a Russell Wilson fan, Hall of Fame, we're going to get into that in random points later on because I know
we could go into it now. I
Jim
think I don't
Walsh
know.
is going to be listening, and we'll get to it. No, we'll get to it later. We got enough to talk about.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, so this is the beginning. Is this the right time against a really solid Chargers team? Well, you know what? You got to walk into the fire to see if you're going to get burned, I guess. So that's how I look at it, and I'm excited about it. I mean, Russell Wilson was never here to be the long-term solution for the Giants, and I like him. I respect him very, very much. But I think it's the only decision the Giants could make because they're 0-3, and the season is close to being lost already. And as far as Wilson, is he a Hall of Famer? Well, Eli Manning has to get in first. Probably Phillip Rivers is going to get in first, but ultimately Russell Wilson, I wouldn't have a problem if he gets in the Hall of Fame, but he's not a first ballot Hall of Fame.
I don't know if that's how I feel about that though. And we have a couple comments that go into that, and I will get to those comments in just a second. But before I get to the comments, I think Russell Wilson lost his opportunity for Hall of Famer, and I think it all starts after tomorrow's game. If Dart can come in there and win this game for the Chargers, I think that just ended Russell Wilson's chances at Hall of Fame and potentially his career if that game goes really well for Dart and the Giants tomorrow. I really think so. But if it doesn't go as well, then I would say to myself, okay, well, maybe it's more than just Russell Wilson as the quarterback. Maybe it was just a team in itself. So I think it really comes down to tomorrow's game. And I think it doesn't just affect the Giants. It really affects Russell Wilson's career going forward. And I think if it's a win for the Giants tomorrow, then yes, I would say it's Russell Wilson the problem, and I would minus him from the quarterback from the
last
Hall of
4
Fame
years
spot
of his career haven't been great, obviously.
No, and you went from 4 different teams. You go from Seattle, and then you go to Denver. Then all of a sudden, you wind up in Pittsburgh and then New York. I mean, you go from if you want to talk about a roller coaster ride, it's really going Seattle to Denver to Pittsburgh. He went to like every single time zone, as you will, from Seattle to Denver, Pittsburgh, and so forth. And we have a lot of comments coming in, a lot of viewers. So I want to get to those comments real quick. Brandon says Wilson played himself out of the joke of what is known as the NFL Hall of Fame, and it all started with that Super Bowl interception.
Yeah, I know. And I think he was, he didn't call that play. But anyway, so
yeah,
I don't think one play defines him. He got them to 2 Super Bowls. They probably should have won
one
both,
Super Bowl.
But,
one Super Bowl.
Yeah,
one Super Bowl he won. He won.
A solid player in Seattle.
Yeah. We also have Eric. He says, good morning. Happy Saturday to all. Thanks for tuning in, Eric. William says the Giants coach should have been fired last year. Yep. He's horrible on the call making. Tom says there's more to it than just the QB with the Giants. Look how well Jones is doing now with the Colts. And that's a great point that Tom made up because every player that left the Giants, from Saquon Barkley to Philadelphia and now Daniel Jones to the Colts, which I'll talk about in just a little bit, it really has been nothing but a success run after leaving New York. And it's kind of like, hey, it's actually a great thing leaving New York. Tom also adds the culture and QB protections are key.
Brought it up before the Giants and
And the last one is from Bobby Search Sports. If Pete Carroll handles the ball off to Marshawn Lynch at the goal line, Russell Wilson's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think, Bobby, I think we can all agree on that for sure. But that one play isn't going to come out of the Hall of Fame. His numbers are really, really good. except for the last 4 seasons, obviously. But we're going to get into a little bit more Hall of Fame conversations anyway. So, a couple other quick things. But yes, the answer to that one question is Brian Dable's job on the line 100%. No question about it. So, Eli, a couple other quick things. Big loss for the Niners with Nick Bosa going out for the season with a torn
Yeah.
ACL, which is happening more and
But they
more.
got a gain though because now Brock Purdy's
Yeah,
back and
so
healthy and he'll play
that's a big
tomorrow.
loss for them. We got the Jets, the same old Jets, right? I mean, they're in the games and then they give them away at the end of the season. Aaron Glenn, yeah, bringing a new mentality to the team. Whatever, results still the same. So it's the same old Jets. And like I said, yeah, I'm glad you guys brought that up because this is we're only 3 weeks completed in the season, and yeah, and you know how happy I am that Daniel Jones is doing great in Indianapolis. But let's see if this can
100%.
continue.
Hey, and you
Little
know what I
early
want to
for
bring up?
MVP conversation.
I want to bring up though that if he does win that game tomorrow with the Indianapolis Colts against this very tough Rams team, then you got to watch out for this Indianapolis team. Could they be a Super Bowl contender? Could they win the Super Bowl, go far? That's the question to be asked. Because if you look at Saquon Barkley last year, what did they do? They went far. They went to the Super Bowl. Could this be the same with Indianapolis now that Daniel Jones left the horrible environment in New York and is starting something incredible down in Indianapolis? That's the key.
Well, as far as making them an instant Super Bowl contender, I think the AFC is pretty tough road to get there. But yeah, they do have a great run back, and I'm going to point this out. One of our loyal listeners, Kenny Backer, put Jonathan Taylor on my radar while he was, a freshman at Wisconsin, and he nailed it because he's a solid running back in this league. So Kenny, good scouting on your part for that. It was excellent. And he's a top notch, but I don't think they're a Super Bowl caliber team like the Bills or I know right now the Ravens and the Chiefs aren't, playing well. So
Yeah.
lots of things going on early season. So keep an eye on that. And
we
Eli, we got a Dublin game tomorrow with Minnesota and Pittsburgh.
We do have that game tomorrow. We do have a couple comments. We have Rule checking in. If Shador starts for the Browns, they will lose by 50 billion points. That's a great comment. Well, we also have Brendan said.
Well, I don't think we're going to have to worry about him. I think he's so.
Yeah. And finally, Bobby's
breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's on you, Jim. Your end. You might want to check that out. And Serge Bobby, he says Joe Schoen cannot be fired because his QB son just beat Bergen Catholic. Oh yeah, that's right. 14-9 the final yesterday. And Tom says, "Let's go, Aaron."
Yeah, Eli. I'm going to come out and come back in. I think we're having a little bit of an issue here.
Okay. Well, Jim goes ahead and figures out all the audio issues, and he'll be right back to join us. You got a lot of football going on in the NFL, and Jayden Daniels is out once again for the Washington Commanders. The Commanders did get a big victory last week, 41-24, the final. But the Commanders do have another test tomorrow as they do take on this Falcons team that lost surprisingly to the Carolina Panthers 30-0. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with Jayden Daniels. You also have Terry McLaurin out as well for the Commanders on Sunday. So you have an injured Commanders team heading into week 4 with the Falcons tomorrow. And the NFL also announced that they'll be heading to Rio de Janeiro next year in 2026 for a regular season game. All right, Jim, thanks for coming back. And can you hear us okay?
Yeah, now it sounds good.
All right. I think you froze up again.
It's some technical issues here, Eli.
Yeah, I think you froze up again.
All right. Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, so let's make our
Yeah.
picks, I
I
think.
think we're good now, right?
Yeah. All right, let's go make our picks and let's go ahead and look at that wonderful standings chart that everybody is dying to know about.
Stats
We all been
the
waiting
crown
for.
up.
Yeah, there we go. Well, I'm still in the lead, 7-4. Jim at 5-6. Last week, Jim went 1-2 on the picks and 2-1 on the picks. I went 1-2. But for now, I still keep that crown, and I'm gonna hope I keep that crown heading into next week. So good luck as always, as we continue this great rivalry on the show.
Well, it's a long season, Eli.
Oh, it is, but it's okay. Well, it's only week 4, but I'm liking
Yeah,
my
rip the
stats
crown
so
off
far.
my head.
I know I kind of like it in my head. The
All
crown.
right,
Though,
what's
but,
going on with our picks here? All right, Eli, give me your 3 picks for the week.
All right, let's start with this. Well, I'm going to start off with the game in Ireland, and I know there's a lot of hate about these international games, and I know Brandon just made the comments that stop with the international games. I 1,000% agree. You got to wake up early. You got to go to a Friday game. It's annoying. It's really annoying, these international games, but let's see how the environment is in Ireland. So it'll be a great environment to see. Vikings Steelers, the game I'm going to start off with, could get interesting because the Vikings won pretty big last week, and the Steelers are interesting team. So I'm going to go with the Steelers in this one, 28-20. I think the Steelers are going to win this game. Should be no problem. They're the home team in this game. Next one, we got the Jaguars and the 49ers. I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars, 17-10. Why I'm picking Jacksonville? Yeah, 49ers have Brock Purdy. They're healthy. But I'm liking the way Jacksonville's been playing lately, and they got that win last week versus the Texans. And I think this is just the beginning to I guess you could say a wind-up beginning of winning games. And I think Jacksonville gets the victory in that one. So I'm going with the Jaguars in that game. The last game, we have the Ravens and the Chiefs. That's at 4:25 on CBS. The game of the afternoon, potentially of the day. Well, I really don't like this Kansas City team. I think that they got lucky because they played.
Wait, who did you take? Jacksonville?
I picked Jacksonville, yes. So back to this Ravens Chiefs game. Best game of the market, possibly. A lot to watch out for in this game. The Chiefs could surprise us, but I don't think they will. I think they got too lucky and they just won because it's the New York Giants last week. So for those reasons, give me the Baltimore Ravens 21-14 to finally win a big game that matters.
Come back in.
It looks like it's your end, Jim, because I'm watching on the other screen.
No, I think I'm okay here.
All right, go ahead and make your picks.
All right, so who for San Francisco, Jacksonville? What's happening here, Eli?
Jim, I think it's on your end. For those watching, please let us know if what the problem is, because we're trying to figure that out. If it's both of us, let us know. If it's one, let us know, please. We appreciate it.
Okay. Who did you take in the Jacksonville Frisco game?
I picked Jacksonville, and then I picked Baltimore.
Awful. Very sorry, loyal listeners. I have to go through this.
Brendan says it's on Jim's end.
Okay. You took Jacksonville, though?
Yes.
I'm not going to make any ground. Yeah, okay. All right, Eli, plenty of NFL to talk about. Let's jump back into college football.
Well, you got to make your
quick.
picks. You got to make your picks. You never made your picks.
There was some excellence last week. Me and I know Piers had, Krug has had, Indiana absolutely demolished Illinois, which I don't think anybody saw that coming. But they were good games, and Michigan wins, USC wins, Miami wins.
You got to make your picks for the NFL. You never did.
Week this week. So college game is where? Penn State. Oh. Apologies to our loyal listeners here.
Yeah, once again, we do apologize for all these issues. We are working through it. And like I said, if you do, we appreciate Brendan for the comment. But if you guys know which side is the issue, just let us know. We're trying to work out these issues. As soon as Jim comes back, he will make his NFL picks because we did not get those picks on the air just yet. And then as soon as we get those NFL picks, we will go right away into college football. There was still a lot to talk about, so please bear with us and stay with us. Please continue to comment and like, subscribe, and watch our show as always. We really do appreciate it as always. And of course, we'll go right into the college football as soon as Jim makes his NFL picks when we return. And then, of course, we'll have MLB talk and plenty more ahead. So please stay with us. Jim, you're back with us. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right, there we go. So you have to still make your NFL picks. So if you can make your picks for the NFL, because none of us got to hear your picks.
All right. So I got one game is Philly, Tampa Bay. And I'm taking Tampa Bay in this because Baker Mayfield has impressed me a lot. I don't know if Philadelphia is that dominant, but they'll go as Saquon Barkley goes. But I'm taking Tampa Bay in this game. Second game, Chicago and Las Vegas. Yeah, it seems like those cupcake games, but it's real. But I think Las Vegas bounces back. I don't think Chicago is for real. So I'm going to take Las Vegas there. And I think you took Baltimore, Kansas City game as well. And I'm going with Baltimore. And again, I don't usually bet against Patrick Mahomes. And when I say bet against them, I don't mean literally bet against them. So
we want to clarify that for everybody. That's anyway, the most important thing we have to do.
My 3 picks.
All right. Well, best of luck to you. And now let's move along right away to college football. We have a lot of great games ahead this weekend. Game day is in Penn State. That is one of the best games of the day with Oregon, Penn State tonight, 7:30 on NBC. Yep. Besides that game, what else are we looking at for today's best games to watch for?
Well, you got to look at Alabama and Georgia as probably the other marquee game. And Alabama's won like 9 out of the last 10 games against Georgia. So I like Alabama in this game, even though I think Kirby Smart is the best coach in college football. And let's see if Indiana can keep rolling along like they absolutely dismantled last week. Was a big surprise to me. But they got Iowa, who's coming off beating Rutgers. Then I saw that game last week. But you have another great game, Ohio State and Washington. And a lot of people like Washington in that game. I'm going to take Ohio State in that game. But here's my upset special of the week. It's LSU and Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss can pull off this upset. I'm not 100% sold on LSU yet. So, and of course, you got Notre Dame and Arkansas as another good game to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a couple comments that actually relate to it. Tom says, I'll let Travis and Patrick know your picks. IU, Iowa. Brandon says LSU, Ole Miss, and Notre Dame and Arkansas.
Yeah, those are great games.
And a great Saturday slate for sure, as Brendan mentioned.
And like I said, Brendan, my upset special of the week is Ole Miss over LSU. I'm just not sold on Brian Kelly. I don't think he has a handle on that.
That's a big upset. Right, that is.
I know. But there was a big upset last night. How about that?
I know.
Florida State going down in double.
That was so cool. That storm of the field at the second overtime.
Virginia.
Yeah, that was some. That let me tell you though, that was,
folks. I can't.
And Brandon comments. He says, "Good morning, guys. Sorry about the cupcake comment. It's okay. Listen, there's nothing wrong with it because I mean, Seattle did win pretty big last week, and that's a cupcake, and he did pick it. So honestly, I agree with you 1,000%, Andrew. No need to apologize. And Brandon, the field rush is what makes college so great."
This is not a good.
I'm working on something right now, Jim. Just 1 second. I'll bear with me.
Yeah, that players were still on the field, on the ground when they rushed the field. That was crazy.
That was awesome, though. That's what you love about college football. Like it really,
Yeah.
that's so special.
Couple other quick notes though. Yeah, I love college football. Probably more than the NFL actually, but couple college notes. Mike D got fired at Oklahoma State. 20 plus years there. Um, I'm not sure I would have fired him in the middle of the season, early in the season, but that's the path they took. And big loss for Oklahoma. John, the front runner for the trophy, goes down, and he having surgery, so he probably missed most of the year.
I think we may have lost Jim
Not standard
again.
for our show, so I apologize.
Yeah, Jim, try joining on your phone
Oh,
because I think it's your computer. Try joining on your phone. I sent you a link on your phone and try joining there.
I don't know.
Because I think it's on your end. So if you want to go ahead and try joining on your phone, maybe, and maybe that'll help resolve our issues that we have.
Shit.
So while Jim goes ahead and does that, and I just want to bring up last week, what an ending to college football and college game day last week. I mean, I had a Pat McAfee diving into the pool in a crazy fashion and way, and what a way to end college game day. And yeah, we all missed the headgear picks from Lee Corso. That was such a unique part of the college game day experience. But 1000%, I would say, that was probably one of the best endings that we've seen in a long time. That was not a Lee Corso finish. So that was something really cool to see. Tom says that someone is gaming on your internet, Jim. All right. Well, Jim goes ahead and he's going to go ahead and join us via his phone, and he will get me to those results and issues. We're going to go ahead and write a little now and move along.
You see me, Eli?
No, hit enter studio on your phone.
Okay.
There you go.
How about now?
Yep,
Good?
we can hear you now.
All right. We'll go through any means to get this working for us. Good job.
All right, so there we go. So now you're good there. So you're gonna go ahead and broadcast from your phone.
You're good there. So you're gonna go ahead and broadcast from your phone.
If you want to exit out from your computer screen and then just keep it from there.
From your computer screen, and then just keep it from there. Yeah.
All right, there we go.
All right, Eli. Good. We're back at it here.
All right, so we're back at it. So I think that's enough for college football. Let's go ahead and move on to the MLB.
All right, Eli. We got a lot of good pennant races that happen, and when you talk about coming down to the wire, we got today and tomorrow, last games of the season. Divisions are up for grabs. Wild card spots are up for grabs, and like I said, with the Yankees, they could either win the division or they could go in as a wild card. That's up for grabs. And the Tigers and Guardians, that's a great race. We could be witnessing one of the worst collapses in baseball history if the Tigers don't win this. And then, like I said, Seattle looks like they're in there. But the National League, I know I made a statement last week, and, shame on me if I'm wrong, but I think the Mets will pull this out. They have to win probably both games this weekend, battling Cincinnati to get into the playoffs. And interesting. No team is going to win 100 games this year.
That's what I was just going to bring up. And that is something significant, too.
Absolutely.
And Jim, if you want, you could put your phone against your computer, so it's just like doing the normal show, if you like. So you don't have to hold it like that.
Okay. Got it.
There you go. So it's almost like a real camera now. There you go. We appreciate everybody bearing with us. But yeah, the MLB wildcard race, that begins on Tuesday. The games go to Thursday, so that'll be a lot of fun. There's still a couple spots left. Cincinnati, New York, and Arizona, Detroit, Houston, Cleveland are still waiting to potentially get in or get out. So that is just time to tell, and we'll wait and see. And of course, all eyes will be on the New York Yankees and to see what does Aaron Judge do in the postseason runs. Only time will tell. ABC and ESPN kick off the wild card games beginning on Tuesday.
Yeah, no, this is very exciting for Major League Baseball, actually. You know, they're with football and college football, and we're going to get into the Ryder Cup in a little bit. This is a great way to end the season, and probably going to be more exciting than the playoffs themselves. But
Oh, yeah.
and Aaron Judge will step up in the playoffs.
I don't think so.
Well, we're going to see. But I do want to give a shout out to the season that Cal Raleigh's had. I mean, 60
that's
home
awesome.
runs is really amazing from him. You know, switch hitter. Only guy to ever hit 60 home runs is a switch hitter. And, you know, I mean, he's in very elite company. You know, maybe this is a one and done, but, you know, for the year he had. But Aaron Judge is still the American League MVP. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. I want to also bring up one more note in the MLB before we move off of it. The MLB will be implementing the automated ball strike challenge system starting in 2026. Now, what does that mean? Well, each team gets 2 challenges and can keep them if successful. And challenges can be made by a pitcher, catcher, and a batter, and must come right after a pitch. So it cannot be done by a manager. So that is a new rule that is coming into play starting next season.
Well, you know, the whole thing, it seems like it's counterproductive when they're trying to speed up baseball games, and now you get 2 more challenges. It's just going to keep the game longer and longer anyway. So,
absolutely. Well, let's go ahead now, and we're going to talk some golf, and then I'll go ahead into the WNBA right after.
Okay. So, and I know our knowledgeable sports audience is watching the Ryder Cup right now, and right now it's not looking great for the Americans, but you know, we expected this, and in the Ryder Cup, you know, really, regardless of what happens in the first 2 days with, you know, the foursomes and so forth, it comes down to the singles matches on Sunday and who's going to step up. And both teams, you know, the Europeans and the Americans are just loaded with the best players in the world. So I can't predict who's going to win, but people have to step up because you have some newer players, first-time Ryder Cuppers, and those guys, you know, like I said, the pressure is immense out there, but the weather turned out great. They were anticipating some bad weather, but so far it's been great. And right now, like I said, the Europeans kind of have the upper hand, and it's all going to come down to tomorrow.
That will, and I know the weather is not great heading into tomorrow, so that will just have to be the test. Hopefully it holds up. But I know that for today, though, you have a great day for some golf down in New York.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. And it, you know, unfortunately, it comes tomorrow with a lot of big games. Like you have the morning game in Dublin, and
Which not everybody has NFL Network though, so that's the only plus, I guess you could say. If you don't have NFL Network, you can watch those games. I know, like I'm saying NFL Network because it's not a basic channel that everybody has on their cable package. Like, I mean, I have NFL Network, but I know some people don't have NFL Network, so they can't watch that game.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Check with your local cable provider. I'm
Yeah,
sure
what your packages are. That's the most important thing.
Right. All right. So that's, like I said, we're going to recap the Ryder Cup
Next week.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Before we go to random points, let's go to the WNBA because this is playoff time. But before we get into the playoff time, there was some sad and crazy news that happened in New York as the New York Liberty have announced that their head coach, Sandy Brondello, will not be renewed for the 2026 season and has been officially let go. She just won a championship last year with the team, having been there for 4 seasons with the New York Liberty. And this comes to me as a shock, considering that the amount of injuries this season that the New York Liberty faced, I don't think that was on her. I think it really was just a battle of the injuries. She won a championship last year, and this is only year 4. I think this is too soon to let her go, and I think this is a big loss for the New York Liberty.
Yeah, that was a surprising move, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And the WNBA finals in the playoffs continue. Last night, Las Vegas defeated Indiana. Minnesota defeated Phoenix. And if both Las Vegas and Phoenix win tomorrow, they will move on to the WNBA finals, which will begin very soon. So all eyes are on the WNBA. Games continue tomorrow, starting with Las Vegas, Indiana on ABC, then goes to Phoenix and Minnesota on ESPN. If there is a game 5, if necessary, that will be on Tuesday. But all eyes as we near the finals of the WNBA and the conclusion of their season run.
Okay, awesome. You got it. You got all the insight for the WNBA. I'll give you that. That's for sure.
All right. And now let's head over to some random points. And that is going to be sponsored by Lynch Toyota of Manchester, Connecticut.
Good. I got a few. Couple of surprising notes from college basketball. Bruce Pearl steps down at Auburn. I don't know what that's all about, but it looks like his son is going to take over. And Bruce Pearl is an outstanding basketball coach, but he left Tennessee under some kind of terrible circumstances, recruiting violations, all that kind of thing. So a great basketball coach, and but as a person, you have to question some of his motives or how he goes from one school to another and instantly turns them around. But that's college basketball for you. Couple other things in the NBA. The Rockets have been an up and coming team, but they had a big loss this week with Fred VanVleet going down. So that could derail their progress as a team to contend with in the Western Conference. And, I saw the press conference for the Knicks, and I just find it almost hard to understand how they could let Tom Thibodeau go and bring Mike Brown in to take over. I mean, the Knicks have super talented players and Brunson and all these guys. I don't think Mike Brown's the answer. I think this is going to take them back a step. They're going to regret letting Tom Thibodeau go, but that's James Dolan for you. So Eli, I mentioned this before, and I know this is going to resonate very well with one of our loyal listeners, Jim Walsh. So the NFL Hall of Fame nominees came out this week, and I'm just going to go right down the list and say yay or nay, whether they're getting in or not. Drew Brees, of course, Hall of Famer.
No question.
Phillip Rivers, no. Until Eli Manning gets in, Phillip Rivers doesn't get in. But he will get in because both of those guys will get in. Larry Fitzgerald, 100%, first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. Here's an interesting one, though. Frank Gore. He's like the second or third all-time leading rusher, but you know what? When you mention the name, you don't think of him in the same vein as you do with Emmitt Smith and Walter Payton and Earl Campbell and Jim Brown. I mean, he hung on for a long time, had a great career, but Hall of Fame, now maybe 3 or 4 years down the road. I think he has a chance to get in. And a couple other quick names. Jason Witten. This one I'm kind of on the fence for. And the only reason being because, he probably has some of maybe almost the most catches by a tight end. I wouldn't be disappointed if he didn't get in first ballot. I don't know if he's a first ballot Hall of Famer like I thought Antonio Gates was, and he had to wait to get in. So I'll say he's got to wait. And Greg Olson, he's up there, Hall of Famer. I'm not so sure. I met the guy.
Broadcasting, but not too much.
No, he's doing great. And maybe the other one, Maurice Pouncey from Pittsburgh. They seem to be letting a lot of centers into the Hall of Fame, and he was pretty steady at the Pittsburgh. But Hall of Fame, I think he could wait a year or two. Yeah. All right, a couple other quick things before I wrap up random points. The Patriots are selling 8% of the team, and they're going to reinvest that money. But 8% of the valuation of $9 billion is $720 million. So when you consider that Bob Kraft bought the Patriots in 1994, he paid 172 million. So that's kind of a nice profit for them. But he's going to put that money back into the franchise. So that's cool. And as Bobby pointed out before, high school football is heating up, and they had a battle of the Titans last night with Don Bosco taking on Bergen Catholic, and Don Bosco and Joe Shane's son, the quarterback of Bosco. That was a big, big win for them.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, St. Joe's, my alma mater, gets to play Don Bosco on October 11th. So that's going to be quite a game.
The rivalries continue on.
You bet. All right, Eli, it's me. You got it.
All right, we got a lot of notes. Here we go. The NBA announces its new week-to-week national TV channel lineup. And believe it or not, most days are exclusive. Sunday's going to be exclusive to ABC, NBC, and Peacock. However, Monday and Thursday are exclusive to streaming only. Monday, exclusive to Peacock. Thursday, exclusive to Prime Video. The streaming era has begun in the NBA. Tuesday, you have games on NBC and Peacock. Wednesday on ESPN. Friday is a mix. ESPN and Prime Video, they'll alternate. And Saturday, games on ABC and Prime Video, but the streaming era has begun. Pretty much every day, there'll be at least one game on streaming platform, not on your local TV or on a cable channel. So keep that in mind when watching the NBA.
Okay.
YouTube TV could lose the broadcast rights to NBC content, including NBC Sports, if no deal is reached by Tuesday. This is an ongoing battle, as we know, and we could see this potentially happen very soon. The good news is that their next major sporting event isn't for a while, so till Saturday, Sunday. So there is time if a deal isn't done right away by Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Netflix officially secures MLB rights. According to reports, Netflix will broadcast the home opener of the Yankees and the Giants next year. So that will be happening next year. And as part of the new deal, the 3-year deal, they will also get home run derby coverage as well as special location games with NBC. They're going to be splitting it. Now, NBC has not secured a package yet, but they'll likely secure the Sunday night package, first round playoffs, and the specialty games, as you will. But Netflix is back in the game, and they're taking over some major games for the MLB.
Yep, the streaming stuff is taking over. Sure.
Oh, yes. Florida Panthers captain Alexander Barkov suffered an ACL injury this week and has begun surgery and is expected to miss 7 to 9 months. A bad loss for the Florida Panthers.
Yeah, especially going for a three-peat. Yeah, big loss.
Yeah.
Big loss.
The New Jersey Devils announced that after this year, they will no longer be wearing its specialty third jerseys. Very sad to see. They had the jerseys that says Jersey on it, the Jersey shirt. So it's very sad to see.
Okay.
Emily Kaplan from the NHL and ESPN will become an insider for hockey for ESPN and will still do sideline reporting for some of the major events, including opening night, the finals, and the playoffs. But she'll now be one of the main insiders for the NHL. That's one of the things that ESPN is known for, being the insider reporter.
Yeah, and one of our former guests, Arda Ocal, is certainly very prevalent in ESPN and the hockey coverage. Yeah.
Absolutely. According to reports and some sad news, Taylor Swift is not expected to be the Super Bowl halftime show performer, as she wanted control over certain things and wanted pay instead of being paid for free. So she'll no longer be doing it, but she will be making an appearance at the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. So that's a plus for those Taylor Swift fans on October 6th. The Savannah Bananas will be doing a city selection show on Thursday, October 9th on ESPN2, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, and YouTube. Throughout the show, they will announce which cities they will play in next year, along with some other unique surprises ahead of its new season next year. Finally, good.
Well, I was thinking about the Savannah Bananas, and I told you my daughter and my son-in-law took the kids to the Bananas game last week. And, for a little bit, like I said, I think I wonder if this is going to die down a little bit, right?
Not right away.
Not right away, but yeah.
And finally, Sister Jean Dolores Schmidt, chaplain of Loyola University, Chicago's basketball team, has announced her retirement at an incredible age, 106. So congrats on the long run.
Yeah, she's 106. I know. I saw that. Right.
All right. And now with that, let us move on to photos and food, sponsored by Vital Selections. You can scan the QR code to learn more. I'm going to go ahead and start it off. The biggest debate of them all. Are you a Starbucks guy or are you a Dunkin' guy? I'm Team Dunkin'. I can't go wrong with Dunkin'. So I want to know your pick, Jim. Are you Dunkin' or Starbucks?
Well, I'm not a coffee drinker.
Me
So,
neither, but I do like the food though from Dunkin'.
okay. It's funny that you brought that up because it's kind of in the breakfast vein. I was thinking about, are you a bagel or a donut guy? So I do
Mm,
have a great bagel because I think it's hard to find a great bagel place. You may have one down by you, but I have one
yeah,
up by here in
I'm thinking
Pequannock. It's
about it.
called Bagel Heaven, and outstanding
Oh,
bagels. So it's hard to get a good bagel. So if you find a place that has them, stick with it.
wow. I mean, yeah, that's a great. Yeah, I'm definitely a bagel person. I mean, for sure. I mean, donut is definitely a snack, not so much a breakfast item that I would eat. But if you want to talk about a great bagel, I have 3 places in mind right now that's coming up in my mind. J&J Bagels in Richfield, New Jersey, and the Metropolitan. It's next to Garden Pizza in Fairview, New Jersey. And the other one, I can't go wrong with the ShopRite bagel. There's nothing that I can go wrong with the ShopRite bagel.
Ooh, that surprises me, even though I know ShopRite has a good bakery department.
They do have a great bakery. I love their bagels at ShopRite. I don't know if it's just the one because the one I have here, but I can't go wrong with that. But yeah, I want to just get the name right for sure. But I believe it's the Metropolitan. It's in Fairview.
Okay, it's your
A
hometown.
Metropolitan Cafe and Bagels. That has good bagels. So yeah, those are my
Yes,
top 3 spots. You can't go wrong with the plain bagel with butter.
absolutely.
Uh, let's go ahead and look at some photos and videos.
Okay, Eli. So this is very special to me, and it's going to be special to some of our loyal listeners as well. You know, uh, as you know, my little brother passed away back in May. So this was, and thank you to all the support that and donations that everybody made in my brother's name for the Oakland Recreation Association, and that is that's a bench in his honor, and it's right next to the field where he played dozens
Has it
and
been unveiled
dozens and
yet?
dozens of games. It has not been unveiled. We're planning on an unveiling ceremony coming up, and I'll bring that up on the show. But
Hey, you got to
it's
bring the show on the road to watch this unveiling. I don't know about you, but I kind of want to go. This got to be a YouTube event. I think. I don't know.
yeah, it's a very special thing for me. And like I said, we played so many games together on this field, and to have that in his memory was just a wonderful thing. And I'll give more details on it, but I'm very
Yeah.
happy at its location and so forth. And, like I mentioned, Eli, I went to the Rutgers game last week. There's 2 of our loyal listeners right there, Anthony and Teddy. And, they were very, very close with my little brother. So, you know, uh, Steve and I used to go to the games with Teddy and Anthony. They're big Rutgers guys. We went to a
Yeah.
game together. So thank you for hosting us. It was just a great event, and
Yeah.
I'm just very happy. And I like I said, shout out to the Oakland Recreation Association for doing this on our behalf. Thank you.
And now I'm going to play the one video, but I just want to let you know, Jim, the video plays, our audio is muted because that's just how it works. And then after the video is over, you can go ahead and tell us what this video means and it's all about.
Yeah. I think I could tell you right now because this is,
Oh, it still plays audio. Good.
yeah. And the reason I put this up there is because Luke Whippler was a guest of ours on the show, and that a great moment.
Yeah, that really was a great moment. Uh,
For me,
there we go.
oh boy, not our day technically wise, right?
Well, I mean, you know what? I'm glad that you're still with us. I thought you lost your battery on your phone. I'm like, uh-oh. So I'm
No,
glad you're still with us.
no, but the itself was about Luke Whippler. He was an eligible receiver, and Flacco he missed them, but it was great that he's now getting some playing time for the Cleveland Browns, and we're gonna have him back on the show at some point too. So
All right, and now it's time for some notable passings, unfortunately.
yes, and I'll start it off. Just wanted to bring up last week from the world of entertainment or music, if you will, but Sonny Curtis actually was a member of the Crickets, Buddy Holly and the Crickets. So an outstanding.
Well, I think that's just that type of day, folks. We're trying to get Jim back on. It is just the audio of a day for us here at Sports with Mano Mano. We are going to try to get Jim back very soon.
Wow.
Wow, I mean, it's just that time of day, I guess, Jim. I mean,
it is. It is. I apologize to everybody. I don't understand. We never had this kind of technical issues before, but I was
the good news is
bringing up-
we're moving soon, so that's a
I
plus.
know. Well, but Sonny Curtis wrote the theme song to the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and I know a lot of people. That was one of the more underrated sitcoms ever, and he wrote the theme song. But I mentioned he was part of Buddy Holly and the Crickets, so a lot of credits to him. In the world of sports, Eli, Bernie Parent, one of the all-time great goaltenders in the NHL, died at 80. Won a Stanley Cup, 2 Stanley Cups, I think, with the Flyers. But it's kind of strange because in the past month we lost Eddie Jockman, we lost Ken Dryden, and we lost Bernie Parent, 3 of the all-time great goalies in the same month. So that was a big surprise there. And I wanted to mention Rudy Johnson. And Rudy Johnson had a really good career with the Cincinnati Bengals. And unfortunately, he passed away at a young age. And again, you could bring it up with CTE, strikes again, if you will. And he had some emotional issues and so forth. And that was a big warning. George Hardy. He's 100 years old, former Tuskegee Airman, fought in 3 different wars for the United States. He passed away at the age of 100. And, we always recognize our servicemen and women.
Absolutely. Well, but I'm glad the audio still works, at least on that part. Nancy Leonard, the first lady, wife of Bobby Leonard, has passed away at the age of 93. She was born in 1932. And as Jim mentioned, former Bengals player Rudy Johnson passed away at the age of 45, born in 1979.
Yeah, I know. So, unfortunately, it's part of the show, but we do it because they had an impact one way or the other on us in sports or entertainment or music, whatever it may be. So again, I deeply apologize that we had such terrible technical issues this week. We will remedy that, and like I said, it's as busy a weekend in sports as you could possibly get. I was excited as could be to be on the show and hearing comments and so forth. So just disappointed that the technical stuff didn't work very well. So.
Yeah, once again, we thank you everybody for commenting, for joining us, for bearing with us, especially with these issues. Again, beyond our control as always, but we really appreciate all of the support that you've given us. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join us for our next episode of Sports with Mano Mano live next week again at 10 o'clock. So be sure to join us then. Although you can't see Jim, he's there and he's definitely going to be waving goodbye for sure. So from Jim and I, have a great Saturday, everyone.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks.
Bye-bye.